back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. With me today is Ford.
Hey, how's it going?
And Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And it's April. And I know we talk a lot about the changing of seasons, but April does sort of finally feel like the kickoff to the spring construction season, right?
Yeah, that and April showers combined to really start off. You know, you're everybody's ready to go. Everybody's in the starting block, just itching to get rolling, and we just deal with the weather and get through it. I mean, last week we spent, I think we got 6 to 8 inches of rain, depending on where you counted. And
Holy smokes, it rained. It felt like it was never going to stop raining.
Yeah, they said it was more rain than we should get in April, and we got it in like 2 to 3 days.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It was nuts.
I was starting to, see what the lumber prices was. Start building arcs here because it was getting a little crazy. And then last time we saw a rainbow, so that was good.
Yeah, that was nice. Actually, we had a little thunderstorm come through. Had a little lightning delay at our game last night. We were getting ready for it. And then some poked through, rainbow came out, we warmed up and played. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, the weather's one thing this time of year. Another thing is obviously we have our years of service dinner. Mm-hmm. We have safety day. We have like things that sort of signify us like ramping up, first recognizing everybody and what they did last year. And then also prepping, going into it with some of the safety stuff that we need to focus on and make sure we're intentional about, that we talk about it. And it isn't the most fun thing to sit in a classroom. It's not what any of us really signed up for, but it's a part of it, and it's important to sit down and have the discussions. And so it was good to see the team there. And then, internally, the amount of bids that are available on the street in this industry right now is crazy. And I think we're going to contract now on some, and we're starting to see it. We're starting to see, okay, this is the actual backlog. And I was having a conversation yesterday. I think I was talking to Brad, and I was saying it's so strange to feel like how at the same time I can be nervous about the work we have right this minute that we can actively do because of delays in contract signing and the weather and the time of year and all those things. Mm-hmm. And also equally or more concerned about the work I'm going to have next week and how we can possibly do that much work. It's always an interesting time of year. It reminds me of something, I think you said it, I think it's a Ramsey thing about Christmas comes every year.
Once a year, yep.
You should plan for it, and that's sort of where we are. April, you got to plan for it.
You just can't help yourself. Every year it's going to be the same thing, but just you're in it. And like when you're in it, like, you know what I mean? Like we know this, we've been doing this for a long time and we know that that's going to happen, but you get antsy. Like you just want to get going and you can't you can't force things. I mean, you can't we're a subcontractor most times. And so we're, other people get to make these decisions. And then the other thing is at this time of year is like, you've been talking to clients for 3-6 months and they're kind of like, yeah, we want to start early. And then they realize the weather doesn't work. So they delay. And it's just that every year it happens. And it's just that thing where you just want to go. Like, it's just time to get going.
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean. And it does feel like, Dan, you mentioned a few things here, but it does sort of feel like this time of year, everything seems to kind of like collide, right? As we come out of winter, as we are workload wise, planning and scheduling wise, getting ready for the spring season really to start. I know that we always have like these 2 events kind of back to back here, whether, our years of service dinner, our safety day. And then I know personally for me, there's like the spring is a busy time of the year, just with family stuff ramping up as we get through like spring sports and stuff like that. And it's a fun time of year. There's a lot of anxiety at times with what's going on and trying to balance everything. But everything goes sort of like all wants to go. You made the reference there. The everyone's at the starting block and like I sort of do see it that way. Like like all the horses banging against the gate, ready to go. And if the things don't go off the right way, it could get messy. But
yeah, and you watch it. That's the weird part, schedule wise. And a lot of times the field doesn't see it. They feel the pressure of whether there is work or there isn't work. There's too much work. There's not enough work. The weather. They feel all those things. But sort of our role is to stand back and actually see it. To use the horse example, the horses are just in the gate and they're banging, ready to go, but they don't step back and see it. They don't have that overhead view that you'd see on TV. And that's where we are is, I am more concerned that we won't have enough equipment than that equipment is sitting. But we sit and, you and I sit and talk and we're like, okay, this equipment's sitting right now, but And then we say it to Ford, and Ford's like, well, yeah, the equipment would sit every time this year. And we're like, we know that, but it's still not okay.
But it's there.
It's there, which means I should be running it, but I don't know how I'm going to run it, because then it rains, and you're like, okay, we get on a safety call in the morning on Monday, and I'm like, the weather's going to be bad. Let's just be smart here, which is me saying, let's not work aimlessly and churn dollars for no purpose when we get no gain out of it. We don't make any headway on the job. But then I get to my, to my desk and I'm thinking, and I'm like, man, we got to figure out a way to get guys going. You know what I mean? Like I say the complete opposite thing in two sentences, one after another, because it's a hard feeling, and then, we're going to have a podcast at some point in September, October, and we're going to be talking about how it feels, to now we've been working all these hours, and the weather's been good, and all these things, and we're coming into now, what does this look like? How do we get it closed?
How do we close it out?
How do we close it out
for winter? How do we get snow ready? And
yeah. So it's just
the cycle year over year is
and
very
you think
similar.
You would get used to it, and you'd be more ready for it. And you are ready. It's just, it happens, and then it's uneasy, because we just like to keep working. I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to have one of these companies in places where there's no seasons and no weather to really deal with.
Yeah.
When you talk about in these companies that just work, and it may rain once in a while. They may have their issues, but not like the Northeast, but
I'm sure they have different problems.
We're right in the middle though, too, because not in the middle, but we have friends in like Maine, right? Yeah. And they just lock it down. Like, okay, December 1st, we're done. We'll be back April 1st.
The snow's coming. We'll see you when it's gone.
Right. And then you got people in South Carolina that it's just go, but then they have a rainy, like, everybody's got a different set of challenges. It's just that it's interesting. Some of it's weather based, some of it's seasonal based. It's just funny how, like, you talk to them and everybody's got a different set of challenges. It's just how they adapt to them and make them operational.
Yeah. Definitely. I want to go back for a second to the years of service dinner. That's quickly becoming a very cool event that we've done now. 3 years, right? 3 years in a row.
I think we should define how you get there, because there seems to be a lot of confusion for people.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they don't understand that it's after. So what it is, it's the recognition of people that have been with the team for more than 5 years.
5 years of full-time service.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
but you don't get to go to the event until technically you're in your 6th year.
Until that's elapsed. Yeah.
Yes.
So when the 5 years has elapsed, so after you celebrate your 5-year anniversary, at the next dinner is the one that you're invited to.
There's been a lot of people like, well, I'm already in my, and like,
I'm already in my 5th year.
This is the 5th year.
Yeah. Like, we had a couple 10 years, like, well, it's actually my 11th. It's like, yes, but it's trailing. It's
in
not
your 11th year. We actually, you and I have had this conversation, because you're in your 20th year. We'll celebrate that later this year. And so we're like, wait, is this your 20 celebration, or is this the 19 celebration? Or you did it like 3 or 4 years before this. So really, are we like 22, 23, 24? So, yeah.
Well, and then the full-time thing is too part of it that some people don't grasp, because there's been some people, especially if they join us from like a educational program and they're working for us part-time, then they become part of the team. Unfortunately, the way that the classification is set up, just because we had to pick some kind of parameters, it's not until you're a full-time till you get the classification. So I know Robbie, he's actually been with us for 7 years, but the first 2 years were part-time. So he finally got that.
He's been waiting on his invite.
Yeah.
He's been waiting.
Yeah. He doesn't, and he'll tell, he's like, when's that coming? When's that invite coming? So,
he's asked me a few times, so he got to go this time. So
but I was just trying to get that out there for people so they can grasp how that gets accounted for.
Yeah. And it is a neat event, because we are so spread out at times that to actually get people who have that tenure in the same room at the same time with almost no work related things happening, they get to sit down, they get to enjoy dinner together. It's pretty cool.
It's very cool. And the thing that is interesting, as we've done it now, this is the 3rd year of doing it, is that either we have to schedule more time or we need to cut out all the stuff, because people just want to catch up. Like, every time that I had to make a break to let them know something was happening, you really felt like you're intruding on people, because they're just
stopping conversations.
Yeah, they're just talking and like going around and meeting different people, or maybe somebody works in a different area they haven't seen, or whatever the scenario was. And every time that I had to I literally felt bad, like, hey, time out, we got to do this, or whatever's happening, because everybody was just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Who was the best one, Ford?
What's that?
Who was the best one that you had to call out and try and get to come up there?
Oh, which one
Come
was
on,
it?
you got to know.
I mean,
Beside my mother?
Oh no, it was your mother.
It was your mom.
Yeah, Ford
It's
says,
definitely-
and Ford, like I'm gonna, being that in most events between you, between Ford, Brian,
I'll let
and
you guys
myself,
be the MCs now.
right. We talk. We have to be engaged. Ford will talk, but you and I also have some responsibility to talk. In this
Sure.
one, I really don't do virtually anything because Ford's recognizing me for having worked here, and so I did not actually hear Ford call me because there's like a gentle buzz as people are talking and Ford's trying to go over it. And I think Tamara said to me, like, Ford just called your name. I was like, okay. And so I went up, but then he said Carol Berg. And I think Ford maybe assumed that Carol didn't hear him. So he said it a little louder. And then somebody said Carol's outside, but she wasn't. She was standing just off to my right talking to someone. And so I said loud enough because I'm louder than Ford most times. I said, Carol, Ford called your name. She said, I'm busy.
I thought she was out doing her steps, so that's a different
And I
story.
was like,
Yeah.
okay. So apparently Carol's busy.
She's
I guess
in
the
middle
mother
of
and the
something.
father get to make that. They can do that, I
They
guess.
still have that authority.
Yeah, they still have that
right?
authority.
Yeah.
Carol was busy. So
Nice. Yeah. We got to give, I think, props to Tracy. I mean,
Yeah.
Tracy, the way she sets it up, organizes all of it. The Heritage did a fantastic job with the food. Tori really helped out a lot this year. So
Kelsey did a bunch of stuff.
Kelsey,
like it's
yep.
amazing how much stuff is necessary behind the scenes. It's not just a show up thing. Like you're like, oh yeah, but there was like props and like the invitations and getting people's
Yep.
dinner orders. Like there's so much stuff behind the scenes and
the slideshow, the decorations.
Yeah.
all the,
Yeah.
it's
the gifts.
they put a lot of hours into it and like you show up and you eat dinner and whatever and it's like
yeah,
oh wow, this was a lot of setup for and they did a great job, but also like it is really cool to see. And you see people have been there years and realize like when they started, what did this company look like, or when they started, or what kind of work were we doing, and all that kind of stuff. So it brings back some real history.
It does. I actually thought, I considered this.
And we still gotta get Brian there, but his schedule in the
We
spring's a
gotta
little
get Brian
tough.
there.
I haven't attended yet, and
I'm
He's a
gonna-
3-year
just gonna go to the
possible
board
attendee
meeting.
that has not been able to make it.
I'm going to attend the board meeting and just try and have the schedule adjusted in
Yeah.
garden spot. Just say like there
need
can't be
one
any games or
Tuesday off.
practices.
Yeah, I mean, just one Tuesday in
Undetermined date, but somewhere we're just gonna call him.
somewhere in the spring.
Maybe we have a guest coach, like send Decker over there.
Yeah,
Even Decker's
maybe.
got to have a joint practice or something.
We'll
I'll
gotta-
figure it
we gotta
out.
Figure it
I'm
out.
going to get on this. But on a serious note, I thought about is Tracy 5 years this year?
She will be.
Well, she will be.
upcoming.
She will be. So I was like, how does Tracy run the event when she's in the
Also
event?
being acknowledged.
I was
yeah.
like, I worked through what in my head. I was thinking about that as we were there. I was like, next year she should really be sitting down. I mean, she could still do all the prep work
sure.
because that falls into something Tracy does. But the actual event, Tracy should be able to attend the event and not have to
And enjoy.
be
Yeah.
responsible and just
Yeah.
enjoy it. So I thought about that when we were there.
Well, it's good. It's not the first year because I
Yeah.
mean, like things have gotten a little smoother every year. You learn a little bit more. You
Yeah.
do a couple things better
Yeah,
than you did
yeah.
before. You realize that, hey, we could have hit this mark that we didn't hit. Those kind of things. So it's getting to be a more well-oiled machine every time we do it. So hopefully next year, that she can actually enjoy and just be part of it.
We do
more.
also notice in both events, whether it be the recognition dinner or safety day, I don't know how much you're going to notice it a fair amount. Is all of a sudden you walk around and everybody's not here, right? Like I went to go ask Kelsey a question, Kelsey wasn't there, and then I'm like, oh well, you know what, Tracy will know this answer, and Tracy wasn't there, and then I went to like Aubrey wasn't there. I was like, okay, where is everybody? And then oh wait a minute, they're all
Prepping.
setting up, they're
Yeah.
all getting ready for the dinner that I'm just going to walk into after work,
Yeah.
So it was, but I mean, the office does a great job putting it together, and I think the guys and the wives and all the employees, whether it be the family with Carol and Tom and Luke and Colt, who Colt will next year's Colt as well.
Colt
Colt
will be
being-
there next
yeah.
year.
Colt will be there as well next year. He comes off of he's coming out of the bullpen. Colt.
Yeah.
He's another scenario that we didn't really talk about, which was some of the guys worked for us, and then, in Colt's case, went and started his own company. Then eventually brought the company back in. So by that measure, if there's one thing about Ford, he's I don't know that he's as consistent as Luke,
Mm.
but he's pretty consistent. So when we came up with this idea of how it would go, there was no special exceptions made for anybody.
Yeah.
That's what actually when the girls were looking at the book that Ford puts together, and that was another of their comments. They were like, "How can how can Miss Carol and Mr. Tom not be 10 years? And I was like, well, this is a little more complicated. See, they didn't actually work for us to full. And like I went back and forth, but they were really confused how you could have worked here 20 years.
Right.
But Tom and Carol did not. And I was trying to explain it. I don't know that it was effective though. They might have to question you later about your
the
accounting.
math gets fuzzy at times.
Yeah.
But
Heath would say that doesn't math.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're ever doing anything, and this is what we're really getting to, you have to pick a starting and an end point, right? Like there's just no other way to do it. And once you create parameters, then you stick to your parameters because consistency is what really matters. I mean, that's in the work we're doing. Consistency is how we're measured.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we can being a rock star one day and sucking the next day isn't a good thing.
It doesn't net to the right spot.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if we're doing good, we're doing bad, level, calm. That's how we get forward from everything we deal with.
Yeah, and not even, we were talking about it lately. We're bidding a lot right now. It's that time of year. And even with our bidding, like we've become very consistent. As I've put together a few sheets that Ford asked me for, and it is amazing to watch how consistent we are in the percentages. When you don't look at dollars, but you look at percentages. And when I talk to clients, that's one of the things I talk about. If you have our last bid, you can almost build the next one because unless there's a massive inflation or escalation cost change, you're going to get the same number because we believe we can produce it at the same rate. Costs are the same. We're consistent. It's people like that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Speaking of safety day almost got rained out. It happened right in the middle of the time period we were getting this 4, 6, 8 inches, whatever it ended up being.
When it's raining, we're training, it sounds like, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was going to be happy about it or not. That was, a quick, funny thing that happened with safety day. And I was trying to minimize how much I let Blair knew that we were trying to juggle responsibilities of jobs on safety day because it has to be the priority, but there's also only so much room with certain things that happen. And so one particular job, I really got after a subcontractor and I wanted them on site. Not Dan, like Berg. Berg, we wanted them on site. And so we pushed and they got on site and it started pouring. And we were lucky it started pouring in that sense because while no one was happy about it, it let them come back. And so I walked in and I said to Blair, hey, based on the weather, these guys will be able to be there. And they were like, were they not going to be there? And I was like, well, I'm not saying they weren't going to be there, but it
might have been a little late.
Might have been a little later. We would have had, I had to work around it because we laugh about it. It doesn't, I feel like I could set that on any day. We could sit down and come up with a perfect reason why we want it on this day that it shouldn't possibly interfere with anything and we can juggle and something's going to happen that makes it near impossible to juggle everything.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It happens when we put any date on anything,
It
right?
does.
Any event, right? Any event that's going to happen.
The years of service event, you're like, we do it there just at the end of the winter season and could be snow and cause a problem. I mean, like anytime that we can put a hard date on anything, we're just asking for a challenge to overcome.
Especially if it's going to happen in or close to normal working hours, right? Yeah, for sure.
It's like, all right, just bring what we used to joke about. Like, I would try and go away over the wintertime, and every time I would leave or pretend to leave.
If Ford gets on a plane, it's going to snow.
Right. So at one point we were joking about buying cheap tickets.
Like Ford and I said we would just buy tickets.
Just to throw them away.
Even if we get on the plane, I'll just get on the plane and I'll fly right back. But just me stepping foot in a different place should trigger a snowstorm by itself.
Yeah, there you go. And then it happens, right?
Maybe we do that next year, Brian. You just
carry an umbrella, it doesn't rain. Yeah. You leave, it does snow.
Yeah. Although, Ford, if we did that and it actually happened, can you imagine how frustrated the guys would be with us? Because they might actually buy into our superstitions. And then they would say, like, you're making this happen.
We do not control the weather.
We would be personally accountable for how much it snowed.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, we do say that. And we talk about it. We go back. We're not in snow right now. We're through that. But we talk about it all the time. The one time you came back and you drove into snowstorm, the car did like a 360, and I was like, you got to get here.
Yeah.
Like we're
straight from the airport.
Straight to the
job site.
Straight to the job
Did not
site.
leave for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a different time.
That was a different time.
But yeah, no, it's just interesting how, like, no matter what you do to try and line things up, it really creates some obstacle. It doesn't matter what, like, the obstacle is. You're always just going to be ready to be, I missed 2 Christmas dinners or 2 Christmas luncheons because something on a project happened and I was able to go out and take care of it. And it was just, that's just what happens. Like, it's just no matter what, but that's life. You just adapt and overcome.
Yeah. And you're trying to make sure other people can be there and enjoy it. So you take that burden on, which is, admirable, but it's inconvenience.
Yeah.
So
You just know. It's like, okay, that event's that day. All right. I got my work boots. I'm ready to go. Let's get this done.
Keep the right stuff in the truck. Yeah.
Make sure all my safety gear's in the truck.
Yeah. Being April, have you made the transition? Is your pickup back to regular pickup, or does it still have everything you could possibly need in case?
It has been transitioned.
Yeah.
Well, only because over the wintertime, vehicles get beat up pretty good, and I paid somebody to do a good cleaning on it to try and make it last longer. And so to do that, you have to remove all of your
You got to take
extra
it all.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it just didn't go back in.
You had to empty it anyways.
Yes.
So now it's still mostly clean
Yes.
because
All right.
that makes sense.
I get that done about twice a year, spring and fall. And it's like, okay, that's the transition of the season's time right there.
Yeah. Give it a good cleaning and then see it clean again in 6 months.
Yeah. See how many, I should start, what is it? What do they do with like trees or whatever? Like, take some of those Cheerios and like figure out like how long they've been in there. Like, time.
He's going to count the rings and the Cheerios. to see how
Count
long
the
they've been.
rings. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Brian might win. I think he's got probably the oldest Cheerios in his vehicle there.
I don't know. If I still have Cheerios in my vehicle,
They're
they've
pretty
aged.
old.
They've aged for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what Brad says? Sometimes we're talking about snacks. Brad says, he was saying something. This is a while ago. He said it to me, but he was like, you know what the most underrated snack is goldfish. He said-
Goldfish. Huh?
Yeah, he was like, you forget about goldfish, and then all of a sudden you have kids, and you're like, goldfish are amazing.
We do goldfish sometimes. My kids are a little bit older, but Cheez-Its, our kids like Cheez-Its. Yeah. So I think that's like maybe the
adult
next
version.
step of the goldfish cracker.
Nora's into now she's into the like super blasted something gold. It's like goldfish with like 3 times too much cheese.
Oh,
Like it is, they are strong. It is, and she
Like
likes them.
aged cheese.
She'll eat any of them, but if you let her pick, she's like, get me the blasted ones. And you take them, it's like Cheetos or cheese curls with your hands.
They leave their residue.
Oh yeah. Whatever the cheese is they're using, it's all over your hands. Yes.
Nice.
Mara says that's disgusting because Mara's not a big fan of cheese.
Oh,
So she says the goldfish are okay, but you can't do that to them. There's way too much cheese.
I'll get us into how many of those products that they like, they're trying to expand their market, but it's like the OG is still like the one.
Yeah, I had the blast and I was like, they are really cheesy, but I'd rather just have the original, the way I remembered goldfish.
I got to imagine like that would be from a retail perspective, and we're not in retail, but from a retail perspective, that's got to be exhausting to try and continue to make your product that's been around for who knows how long look like something new or be more attractive than the thing it's sitting next to on the shelf and
be the same but different.
Yes.
Right? Like differentiate yourself without actually going away from the thing that you are.
Disenfranchise the people who want it because it was the thing, but you also
they're
have
your
to
base audience. You can't mess with them. But
You know,
you're hoping
what
to bring some
one of the
new
best
ones in.
examples maybe for it is the Oreos.
The Oreo.
Oreos is crazy what they've done. I mean, they have like thin Oreos, double stuff. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want double stuffed Oreos.
Sure.
But, and that's, you might as well just get a scale out. You know where we stand if double stuffed Oreo is going to be my thing. But Erin was a fan, does not like double stuffed Oreos, and she liked like the thin Oreos. So she would like if in a perfect world, like she could take the 2 cookie halves and then I'd take the 2 and I'd have double stuffed and she'd have nothing. But now they make a one that's thin.
Yes.
And like,
It has
and
like
then the
half the
flavor
cream,
it has
or
like
maybe
half,
less. I don't
maybe
even
less,
know.
but the cookies are also thinner. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's like 82 different flavor ones.
So you didn't know we'd get on food, but we can always
the
get here for it.
flavors. I like every once in a while they kids buy a flavor Oreo and I'm like, oh, that's good. So
About 2 years ago, I don't know. I probably was in the doghouse or I was just trying to be nice, but the wife likes Oreos, so like I went to the store and they had some new flavors. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna like be a hero and bring these home. Brought them home. Ugh, they're not the right ones.
She was not interested.
Erin and Tamara.
And I literally was like, I thought I was doing good, and I'd probably been better just to come straight home from work. Like I did not get any brownie points for that, and then probably ended up eating them myself or throwing them away because it's not my thing. And I ate some of them, but I was like, I was like, I bought these for you. And she's like, no, they're not the right ones.
You know what I do that with? Erin says I do it with all kinds of foods, but especially pizza. I'll be like, Erin would love this pizza, and it's like chicken pesto, and she was like, what?
I don't
why
need
would you
chicken
put
or
chicken
pesto.
pesto on pizza? And I was like, you like chicken pesto? She was like, not on pizza. I'm like, what?
I don't want to combine the two
I didn't want to
things.
combine the two. And meanwhile, like I could have just gotten her like a slice of pizza and she would have been maybe happy. I don't know. That probably could have backfired as well.
Yeah.
But
Well, we're having a pizza war at home right now because she's teaching the kids to like the pineapple pizza thing.
Oh, boy.
No.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I
So now
do-
we're ordering like separate pizzas because they say they'll do half, but then it kind of gets over on the other side. And
yeah, you can't do half on a pineapple and ham. I assume this is the Hawaiian.
no, I got to do the bacon. It's got to be the,
Well, whatever it is, but it's the
sweet pizza, whatever you
the
want to call
sweet
it.
pizza. Mara loves that, and Mara said the pizza should also have no cheese.
Oh,
Yeah, so Mara wants a
with
Hawaiian
pineapple.
pizza with no cheese.
like a tomato pie.
A tomato pie with
But-
that's
okay.
her perfect thing.
Mm.
Is a tomato pie with the Hawaiian
Mhm.
style. I don't get it.
Dave Harden and I have the pizza conversation on a fairly regular basis. He is, as am I, a pizza fiend of sorts. So if either one of us ever tries like a place that's good, and we're like, oh, have you tried this place yet? You've found good pizza, and good pizza like is, I think, at times difficult to find. Like
So-
I'll eat pretty much any pizza. I mean, I'm not.
Are you just like quality, or is there a certain type of pie that you like? Because I like different I mean, I'm a quality guy because I'll eat
Mhm.
different styles of pizza. But
Sure.
some people are like, "Oh, I only eat deep dish or only eat
Yeah.
thin or whatever," and I'm like, "Nah." But
Yeah, it's a quality thing for sure.
yeah,
in
like
my
you'll
opinion.
eat one with a thin crust or
Yeah,
a thick
thin,
crust, but
thick,
it's
yeah.
about the quality of the pizza.
Yeah,
Like,
the dough is so much the thing.
Yes,
For me, like it's
the dough.
when I was in, we've talked about this before. When I was in Barcelona, that we don't have pizza because they have a different dough because of their flour's different because of FDA and everything. But Erin started making like her own pizza with her own dough, and we have like the
Yeah.
pizza stone and little thing, and it's like now I'm getting to the point where like I go somewhere and I get a slice of pizza and it's disappointing because I'm like, this wasn't good pizza. I mean, I would still eat it.
Yeah.
I'm still going to order 2 or 3 slices and eat them anyway.
I'm typically not disappointed.
I'm
I
not
just know
disappointed,
what's
but
better.
I know that it'd be like, yeah.
This is the substance pizza, and this is the pizza I want to eat.
Yeah.
That's the two different things.
The problem for me is I'll probably eat the same number of slices of each.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'd probably eat more of the bad pizza,
Oh,
I think, because there wouldn't be as much of the, I feel like, you know what I mean? That's just the way it works out.
The other problem is but you go to a place and it's like Rockstar. And, we all talk about, needing team members, but the restaurant industry makes our industry.
Yeah. They're
hands
suffering.
down.
Yes.
They're really challenged with that. So, but the person making it, however they make it, a little different. So you go in that place, you had like the best slice you had in a long time or whatever. And you go back like 3 weeks later and you're like hyped up for it and you're ready to go. And it doesn't taste the same.
They've got a different employee,
Yes.
different
Yeah.
person
They bought a
making the
different-
dough.
Product in and you're like, but I came here. I mean, I drove out of my way to this place and it's not the same. Like again,
Yeah.
consistency matters.
Yeah, we always say, it's one of the things we try not to do is talk about specific things.
Sure.
But when I go down this road where it's happening,
It's trouble.
but I feel like somewhere that Ford would agree with is somewhere you would not expect for pizza. And when I take people there, they say like, this is not what we expected a restaurant you recommended to be like,
Oh.
is Ron's.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Ron's, I think, don't you guys actually order pizza with the
Gluten-free crust.
the gluten-free crust because they think it's better? Which
Because the crust tastes better.
maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. That's fine. But Ron's is one like I'm getting those super stick things no matter what. That's happening as soon as I get there. It's like crazy bread, but better.
okay.
And it's like crunchy and it's really good. And it's because it's the dough.
Yeah. Nice.
And but people are like, you get pizza at Ron's. And even we had a birthday party for the girls recently, and we were going to get pizza, and Aaron was like, where do you want to get it?
That's where you want it. Huh?
And we thought all other places, and like Ron's was a little bit more. And I was like, well, we're gonna you get do whatever you want. And she was like, no, let's get it from Ron's, and we got it from Ron's, and it was
Yeah.
it was
It's what you wanted.
it was like Ford was just saying it was exactly what I expected
Yeah.
it to be.
It's funny. There's a bakery that Dave actually turned me on to this. I knew them for their breads and things of that nature, but I didn't know they made pizza at their actual store because I always have gotten their bread at the market in Lancaster. And there's a bakery called Tom's Bread that they do pizza, and it's like their dough but pizza. It's a little thick crust, and man, it's like making my mouth water.
It's like, we
may need to go to lunch. We got to wrap this up. We got to get to lunch.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's a place down the shore that's that way in Ocean City. There's a Benny's bread, and you wouldn't think to get pizza there. They especially make tomato pie. But yeah, it's the dough. So you didn't see we were going to talk about rain, spring, and we ended up on pizza.
And we talked about work,
Oreos.
Then we got to Oreos and pizza.
We
I don't know
distracted.
how we got here, but I think if this goes too much longer, it'll continue to slide in the wrong direction.
Well, I don't know if this is the wrong direction. So.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe we should not do these around lunchtime. Maybe that's part of our problem.
Maybe that was our problem.
Maybe we started when we were hungry.
Yeah.
Got straight to food. So. All right, folks, that's probably a good place to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you got something from this, and we hope you come back for another episode.